Happening now, a recent string of vandalism plaguing the village of Lakewood. What local officials have to say as police investigate. And a new legislator has been appointed to serve parts of Jamestown, Lakewood, and Bust-I. Plus, a new exhibit just unveiled at the National Comedy Center paying tribute to beloved comedian Carl Reiner. We hear from his children coming up.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Justin Gould. Over the past few days, homes in the village of Lakewood have fallen victim to vandalism. Our Alyssa Wright joins us live in studio with more from local leaders there. Alyssa?
Justin, Lakewood Bust-I police are currently investigating the crime, which appears to be a random act by no-gooders. The village's mayor, Randy Holcomb, is now warning those in the community to be on alert.
It is disheartening, in this day and age when we have so many things going on and so many things wrong and we're all trying to correct them. Do we really need this kind of violence?
It appears that these acts of antagonism are entirely destructive in nature, as no one has reported any theft.
I think they're just doing more damage. I believe the night before last, they were breaking windows, throwing rocks and big picture windows kind of thing. And it's very, very early in the morning, probably. I don't think it's been going on a very long time, but it has kind of escalated in the past few days.
Residents of the area are urged to speak up if they see any suspicious activity.
If you see something, say something. So anybody in Lakewood who finds something out of the normal, unusual, please respond to the police department. And nothing is too small for them to hear. They want to hear everything everybody sees that is unusual.
The mayor also asks those living in the area to check their home security systems, and if a suspicious person is captured, to report the find to the police.
And if anybody has footage that they have on there, they would like to obviously have that and try to use that in their investigation till they can catch these people doing it.
Over the past few days, the illicit acts have slowed down. The mayor tells us that several leads from security video in the area might pave the way to identify a suspect or suspects. I did reach out to the Lakewood Bust-I Police Department for an update on their investigation, and I'm still waiting for a call back. Reporting live in the studio, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
All right, Alyssa, thank you. A 29-year-old Randolph resident has pled guilty to federal child pornography charges. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Buffalo reported yesterday that Alexander Carnahan pled guilty to 2 counts of production of child pornography. In early 2020, prosecutors alleged that Carnahan undressed an 11-year-old victim and then filmed her naked body. He did so due to his sexual attraction to them. Law enforcement additionally recovered images and videos of that victim in his files belonging to Carnahan. The charges carry a mandatory minimum penalty of 15 years in prison, a maximum of 30, and a $250,000 fine. Chautauqua County lawmakers approved a proposed 19-district reapportionment map last night. A special committee was tasked with drafting a new legislative district map earlier this year after the county saw a decline in population as recorded in the 2020 census. The map was approved by a vote of 14-3, with legislators Bankowski, Parker, and Torres voting against it. Chautauqua County Legislative Chairman Pierre Chagnon says a 19-member plan divides very few towns, villages, and cities compared to the other 17-member map. This new map, Chagnon goes on to say, is fair to minority populations here in Chautauqua County.
For the first time in the history of the Chautauqua County Legislature, we have an opportunity to create a majority-minority district. So the majority of the population in that district will be minorities.
Now that the plan has been adopted by local lawmakers, that bill will next go to County Executive P.J. Wendell for his approval or veto. If the executive signs the measure, it's subject to a 45-day waiting period as part of a permissive referendum before becoming law, which would reshape voting districts starting in 2023. And a new legislator has been appointed to serve parts of Jamestown, Lakewood, and Bust-I. Jamie Gustafson was confirmed by the county legislature last night. representing the southwest side of Jamestown, the village of Lakewood, and a part of Bust-I. She replaces Ken Lawton, who is moving out of the district. The new District 10 representative has lived in the area for the past 30 years, currently working at M&T Bank. Gustafson spoke with our crew following her confirmation, saying the biggest hurdle the county faces includes the health of Chautauqua Lake, tourism, and battling the county's population loss.
I know with M&T Bank, we just created Seneca One, and it is a hub for technology. And the idea is to bring technology students or people of that profession to the area so that we can employ them out into the community to do the work.
The Republican will have to run for election this November as part of a bid to retain her seat. Well, now let's get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us live out there. And I see those ominous clouds behind you, Dakota. I know there's a chance for some rain showers moving across this afternoon.
Yes, we're going to have at least a little bit of a chance of a few showers, maybe a couple thunderstorms. And but you can see it here from the Lakeside Park sky cam, the dark clouds overhead. But so far across the southern tier, we do have a few rain showers moving on in. Surprisingly, there was a tornado warning that was issued for parts of Livingston and Wyoming counties. This is just to the east of Buffalo. And we're going to dive into this more during full weather. We're going to take a look at a couple radar products and show you that. But that's a clear case of expect the unexpected when it comes to thunderstorms. We talk about it all the time. But no severe weather problems across the southern tier or northwestern Pennsylvania for this Thursday. So 74 was the high yesterday. Started the day at a muggy 68, 96 and 40 are the record. So through the afternoon today, not as much sunshine. It's going to be kind of filtered, spotty showers and more humid, 77 to 83, and it will be breezy with that southwest wind. Now, we do have a little bit of a chance for rain showers tomorrow, then the weekend. Fantastic. We'll talk about it with that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day later in the show, Justin.
All righty, Dakota, we'll see you back in just a bit. As we roll along, New York's GOP congressional candidate, one of them calling out his opponent for declining media interviews and now refusing a formal debate. And later, mosquitoes, possibly some of the most annoying summer pests, but these nuisances can pose a potential danger. Some tips and things to look out for as WNY News Now continues. Oh, there's that mentioned rain.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Stay fire safe this summer. Only use grills outdoors, away from siding and deck railings. Clean grills often and remove grease or fat buildup. Make sure your gas grill lid is open before lighting. Have a 3-foot safe zone around grills and campfires. Keep kids and pets clear of the area. Dispose of coals after they cool in a metal can. Never leave grills, fire pits, and patio torches unattended. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
What is going on, my New York friends? My understanding is that you're in school for a little bit longer than most people, but I got some good news for you. Where are you going to be on September 10th? In Jamestown, New York, with me at 7 o'clock at the Reglena Theater, and you can get your tickets at reglena.com, REGLENNA.com. Make sure that you grab those now. It's going to be so much fun. Jamestown, New York, September 10th. Come and have fun with me.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
One of the many GOP candidates in the race for New York's 23rd congressional districts is calling on his fellow frontrunner to debate ahead of a fast-approaching August primary election. Nick Langworthy, who spoke during a press conference yesterday afternoon, called out opponent Carl Palladino for not answering questions from news media and refusing to debate in a formal setting. The state Republican Party chairman called on Palladino to ditch his, quote, Biden basement strategy to take part in not only televised debates, which have been proposed by many outlets across our region, but also 7 debates in all 7 counties in the congressional districts represented.
President Trump was never afraid to take on the media, never afraid to take the questions. He was the most accessible president that we ever had. They were awful to him. They were absolutely awful every day, but it never stopped President Trump from doing the interviews, in the debates, in the press conferences, and answering the tough questions. Because he had the courage to stand up for his convictions, and he told voters exactly what was on his mind. And that's the kind of leader that I have been, and I will continue to be as a member of Congress. The last thing we need is another millionaire hiding behind his checkbook trying to buy an election.
In a statement, Carl Palladino called his opponent's comments a, quote, desperate plea from a desperate candidate, end quote. In addition to the 2 frontrunners, Jamestown area resident Richard Moon, who's running a write-in campaign for the seat, told us he wasn't surprised to see Palladino not giving interviews. Both a special and primary election will take place on Tuesday, August 23rd to fill the seat of former Congressman Tom Reed. And according to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, peak mosquito season is just around the corner. As the peak season approaches, the department is warning of an increase in West Nile virus cases detected in the bug. The department's West Nile virus program traps mosquitoes around the state using special equipment, and they're able to test for that virus. So far, it's been detected in 20 counties. At this point, there are only a handful of probable human cases. This week, officials are sharing some tips on how to prevent the pesky insect from ruining your summer nights.
Mosquitoes really like shade, so if you have overgrown vegetation in your yard, it's really important to trim that back. Believe it or not, a simple box fan blowing at your feet when you're having an outdoor event works much better than a bug zapper or a mosquito misting system. Mosquitoes are actually very weak flyers.
Mosquitoes can breed in objects as small as a bottle cap. Officials say to make sure you empty flower pots, buckets, and other objects around your home that could collect water and then attract mosquitoes. Well, it's been a rough spring and summer for some farmers in our region. Up and down weather conditions have played a major factor, from too much rain then too dry. And now, many in the farming business are just hoping to break even. WNY News Now's Mike Ruzzi has the story.
The view from the top shows promising-looking crops at Ewing's Farm in Edinburgh, but that can be deceiving.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing, but I guess that's all part of it. We'll plug along and try to finish strong if we can here.
And Hall is expecting half the crops of previous years. It's been one of the worst seasons for berries in 6 or 7 years.
I guess any farmer will tell you, I guess that's why farming is not for wimps. You take the good with the bad. We've had some great years. It is frustrating because you put just as much time and effort. Unfortunately, this year, with the price of fuel, our fertilizer has almost tripled, our fuel's doubled, our labor expense, everything is unfortunately, this is a bad year for us as far as that goes because we've got twice as much expense in and, again, half a crop.
Despite the issues with the weather, customers are not backing off from visiting the farm.
The berries that we're picking are really sweet, so well, you don't mind picking them. It's a nice cloudy day, so it's not too hot, so it works out okay. I mean, each year is a little different, and again, it's just something to come out and do. They're really reasonable. We freeze them, easy to freeze, and have them all year long, so we would always come out.
Mike Ruzzi, WNY News Now.
Mike, thank you. The Halls have owned their farm for 30 years, and it not only offers blueberries, but fresh fruits, vegetables, and their famous local honey. It's located at 5096 Old State Road in Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. Well, say goodbye to the Choco Taco. Klondike says they've discontinued the taco-shaped ice cream treat. Choco Tacos have been around since the 80s, but that company says they're not as popular as other products on the shelf. Fans are already taking to social media with comments like Choco Taco has fallen, and They always take the best things away from us. Isn't that true? There's still hope, though. Reddit co-founder Alexis Orion has tweeted that they're offering to Klondike's parent company to buy the rights for Choco Taco. So hey, it could be back sooner than we think. Always good to get some yummy chocolate. Coming up, we hear from the children of a famous comedian, Carl Reiner, about his new exhibit here in Jamestown. But first, when we return, a full look at our weather forecast and the tornado that possibly moved through western New York today. Dakota explains that right after this.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Noah. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and every day. First Defense Weather.
Well, welcome back, everybody, and wanted to start off the full weather segment talking about that tornado warning that we had in Livingston and Wyoming counties. This is a loop of First Defense Doppler radar from around 10 o'clock this morning, which is when that tornado warning was issued. You see that red polygon popping up. That was the tornado warning. And let's dissect this a little bit, because this is the velocity imagery, and velocity measures how the water droplets are moving relative to the radar, either away from the radar or towards the radar. Anything perpendicular to the radar beam is equal to 0. And anything right there, you see that little spot where the red and green colors are coming together, that is what we call a velocity couplet. That is where there was strong rotation going on within that storm. And as a matter of fact, this is the correlation coefficient, or the debris tracker. And there was a little area of correlation coefficient right over the community of Gainesville. As a matter of fact, we'll zoom into this and show you that area of debris. That is it right there. That little lowering of CC is what we call a TDS, tornado debris signature. So this tornado was likely on the ground for at least a period of time, and we have had we've had numerous reports of trees damaged, barn damaged out in North Java, North Java, excuse me. And so more than likely the Weather Service will be doing a storm survey on this, likely today or tomorrow. But around the southern tier, we have no storms around right now, but it's 70 degrees, a northwest wind of 10, but look at that dew point at 63, so it is much more muggy today. All the we had, especially on Sunday, has helped to eliminate part of that drought condition across southern Chautauqua and parts of Warren County. So officially parts of the southern tier not under a drought, but we're still under that abnormally drought condition, and even that moderate drought condition continues across portions of the eastern southern tier. Now, talking about the muggies, yeah, it's going to be muggy for today, but a cold front crosses tonight, drops us back into the pleasant category before the humidity returns again by Monday. So let's take you through Future Scan here, really showing you the chance for showers and maybe a few thunderstorms through the early afternoon hours. Those clear out. We should go partly to mostly cloudy tonight. So again, if you do want to do some stargazing, you will be fighting through a few clouds at times, but nothing too bad. Tomorrow should be a nice day, but notice a few little blips there. Could be at least a chance for a couple isolated showers, especially early on the day especially early on Friday. So how much rain are we picking up over the next 5 days? Really not much. I think we're looking at about less than a ½ inch over the next couple of days. And that's Sean's picture. We should be getting to the 7 day. So let me go over there and show you the ultimate satellite solution 7 day. Somehow or another, the 7 day didn't come up, and it will come up in just a moment. Maybe. Anyway, we'll show you the 7 day at the end of the show, Justin.
Alrighty, Dakota, thanks. Still a beautiful pick from Sean. I mean, I know this is yesterday, but I could stare at it all day. All right, some national headlines now. And Sesame Place in Philadelphia is facing a new civil rights-related lawsuit, unrelated to the case made famous by a viral video. The Burns family of Baltimore says they were discriminated against in June. A Baltimore law firm is taking their case and filing a class action lawsuit, believing there's a pattern of discrimination. In response to the lawsuit, Sesame Place, which is owned by SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment, issued a statement saying they will review this complaint. Going forward, Sesame Place representatives say they're committed to being an inclusive and equitable entertainment experience for all of their guests. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is clearing the way to distribute and administer hundreds of thousands of additional doses of the monkeypox vaccine here in the States. The agency announced the doses will be supplied by a plant in Denmark. Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becker says the move will make 786,000 more doses available. That's on top of the more than 310,000 doses already delivered in anticipation of approval. The Department of Health and Human Services anticipates making about 1.9 million doses available in 2022 and another around 2.2 million doses in the first half of 2023. More than 3,500 cases of monkeypox have been diagnosed in the United States. An infectious disease expert says the outbreak seems to have been fueled by 3 mass gatherings in Europe. A major move by the Federal Reserve, the central bank scrambling to cool down white-hot inflation by hiking the interest rate for the 4th time this year. Isabel Rosales reports on the economic worries Americans are facing and the growing questions about whether we're headed into a recession.
And it's a struggle. It is a real struggle.
Prices are soaring. Many families are having a hard time paying their credit card bills. The stock market has tanked this year. Home sales have started to slip, and consumer confidence is low. For many Americans, it already feels like a recession.
Especially when I look at the price, I'm like, this is unbelievable. It's ridiculous, but what can you do?
The Federal Reserve hiking the interest rate by 0.75%. For Americans, it means the cost of borrowing has gotten even more expensive.
Looking forward, the risk of recession is unfortunately high.
The R word, a sticky and fiercely debated topic. Industry experts and politicians disputing whether we're already in or heading into a recession.
It's basically, the best described as it's a very weird economy. I'm not sure we've really experienced anything quite like this, where you have an inflationary environment with a really strong labor market.
But most Americans already believe they're in a recession.
You're talking about people that have their own level of recession daily and have had it for years.
Beyond all the growing noise of economic data, perception can quickly turn into reality as consumers tighten their pocketbooks.
Now you look at the prices and you're like, I just won't get it.
I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
Isabel, thank you. Next, we take a look at the new exhibit now open at the National Comedy Center on founding member and comedian Carl Reiner.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Catch your First Defense Forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Well, the children of famous comedian Carl Reiner joined the National Comedy Center to open a new exhibit showcasing the comedy legend's legacy yesterday. Our Bronson Rasmussen was on hand for the ribbon cutting and joins us live in the studio today with more. Hello, Bronson.
Hey, Justin. All three of the comedian's children, who have made waves in the entertainment industry themselves, helped the Comedy Center Executive Director, Journey Gunderson, open the exhibit, which features more than 75 artifacts from Carl Reiner's career.
It's been a remarkable experience for our team to process, preserve, and now present more than 75 boxes of material from one of the most prolific comedic minds the world will ever know. Carl Reiner's more than 7 decades in comedy have not only been remarkable for their consistency, but their longevity and their ability to inspire legions of artists for generations to come.
Reiner's family had the opportunity to tour the exhibit before its unveiling.
This is our father. We've spent every minute of our lives with him, except for the last 2 years. And so it means the world. But I think more important is it's going to mean a lot to a lot of people. Because my sister Annie was saying, he's a loved person and he wanted everybody to be happy. I mean, that was his main goal in life, is to make people happy, make them laugh, make them have a good time. And so this museum and his exhibit will do that for people.
Carl Reiner was an actor, director, screenwriter, and famous stand-up comedian, winning dozens of awards. His works included popular shows like The Din Van Dyke Show, Your Show of Shows, and his connection to other big names like Mel Brooks.
And I got this feeling that, he was famous for all these years, all these decades, longer than most people. And I think it's because he had this very open heart, and that was who he was. And I think it touched people and it drew them to him.
This exhibit is the most recent in the Comedy Center's collection, a place that artist Lucas Reiner touts as a collection of comedic artifacts that will allow people to discover those lost to time.
The great thing about centers like this is that they go on and on and on, long after we're gone. Somebody may not know who he is, walks in here, and it's all for them to discover, all in one place. And that's very gratifying.
Now, Justin, Carl Reiner was also a founding advisory board member of the National Comedy Center, and he passed away in 2020.
Yeah, certainly such an incredible exhibit. To be able to document his career, and I know we may be a little too young to watch it, but I hear, President, your dad is a pretty big fan, and Dakota as well, of the programs.
Dick Van Dyke Show mostly.
Yeah.
And just hearing all of the comments that his kids made, there was so much footage that we got of them just telling stories about the things that he does and just comedy in general.
Right, right. And when you have such a long legacy, it is important. One of the main things of the Comedy Center, try to preserve that. Bronson, thank you. Well, that's it for us today. Dakota will have his full 7-day up at WNYNewsNow.com. We'll leave you with a live look over Chautauqua Lake. Have a wonderful day.